Thank you very much for your time today. This session is going to be focused on two different dashboards available to you within the Diageo environment. The first one is a brand dashboard that will include data around share of voice, as well as then an integrated dashboard that will show data across owned, earned, and paid metrics, commonly referred to as a one-view dashboard. So let's go ahead and start with the brand dashboards available to you within the environment. So for today's example, we'll go ahead and look at Johnny Walker in particular, and we'll start in with the share of voice conversation. So we're looking at here with this very first tab, and again, before we even dive into the data, don't forget that as with any Sprinkler dashboard, you've got the ability to set the various time frames that are relevant for you. So if you want to do a specific time frame for the data that you would like to review, you can set that here in the top middle of the dashboard. So we're going to look in the last 30 days around the share of voice that Johnny Walker has across other competitors in the whiskey category. So in this particular example, we're looking at earned data first. So this is data coming from the Sprinkler Listening Insights module and all of the topics that have been set up across the whiskey category. So as we can see here, we've got the different brands and competitors and all of the whiskey category topics and or conversations that we would want to monitor, as well as then the share of Johnny Walker within that broader population. Now, as you can imagine, this may or may not contain all of the different brands and competitors that you would want to include in this particular share voice analysis. If not, and you see something that is either missing or you want something included, please reference the video on how to check which particular brands and topics Diageo is currently querying and collecting for, as well as how to request a new topic in the situation in which you need one added. So again, in this example, we're leveraging the Sprinkler Listening Insights part of the platform and can drill into this conversation as well. So similar how we've seen in other dashboards in the environment, you've got the ability to drill down into any of the widgets made available here in order to further explore the data as needed. So there we have the share of voice across the entire category of whiskey. But in this particular tab here, you'll see that we're going to again continue to focus on the earned conversation. So again, the data coming from Sprinkler Listening Insights. We're going to focus in on the priority brands. So here we'll see a couple key notes just to remind you of some of the most important details here in terms of the scope of the data that we're able to access and that is populating each of these widgets. But now here we're focused on the share of voice across our priority brands, being Johnny Walker and then Jameson and Jack Daniels as well. So here we can see in terms of what got the most mentions versus which got the most reach. And then as we scroll down into these widgets, we get a feel for the overall volumes over time, as well as the sources where that conversation is happening. So in this example, if we wanted to understand potentially what caused the spike in Jameson conversation on the 18th, I've got the ability here to drill down, maybe look at a topic cluster, click there, and then bring up the additional widget that may or may not give me an indication of what was driving the particular spike in conversation that day. Again, if I want to get down further, you've got certainly the ability to see sentiment and all of the other fields as well as metrics that are important to you. Okay, so we're into our brand dashboard. We'll now go into some of the insights for competitors in the owned component. So this is their owned pages where they're publishing their organic content. If I click here, we'll be leveraging data coming from the Sprinkler Listening Insights and Benchmarking module, and we'll be able to get a feel for it with this first widget, all of the content that the specific competitors that we're looking at are putting out, right? So in this particular widget, we're looking at the following brands, and we can scroll down through the content to see exactly what they're publishing, and this is sorted by engagement. And then as we scroll down here as well, we now can get a view into both the location in terms of where the user mentions are coming from each of these brands. Again, this is focused on their organic and owned channels. And then we can get, again, additional views into some more of just the metrics in that owned platform. So next here, we're going to see themes. So this is where we're able to, if you've got need or desire for a particular portion or segment of the conversation that you want to be monitored. So again, in this example, we're looking at when Johnny Walker is referenced in terms of gifting or serving, and how, essentially what types of cocktails in this example we'll be making with our particular brand. You've got the ability to set up themes to monitor the conversation specific to those themes that are important to you. So general gifting versus specific holidays. Or again, here, what are the different ingredients being used to serve Johnny Walker? So again, please see and reference another video around topics and themes in terms of the differences, and again, how to request new ones in the event that what you're looking for is not already available in the environment. So then here, as we go forward now, this is populated by the AI components of the Sprinkler List Sites module, and this is giving us the interests of the folks posting about whiskey. So again, in this context, we're looking at all the earned conversation, where individuals are posting about the whiskey category in its entirety, and then what their interests are, what emotions are generally in play when folks are posting about that particular category, as well as the emojis available. Here we'll get a view of demographics in aggregate, so by gender in the Johnny Walker audience, as well as then what's the gender of our competitors' audience. And again, down into the age distribution and the distribution by country here as well. Again, similar to our brand here on the left, as well as competitors on the right. And then we'll finish off with the visual tab. So this is the tab that's going to allow us to leverage the Listening Insights module to find all representations and mentions of our brand, that both we can see where the logo is appearing in the particular post, as well as then if we can identify any of the most common activities or the particular locations or scenes where the content is being shared. So again, in this context, this is populated by the AI components from Sprinkler. Then here you're going to get a view into each of the posts wherever the Johnny Walker logo was identified. And again, that could be text, or that could be, in particular, the logo and emblem. So in this context, I can go and scroll through, and this now gives you a feel for whether they are sponsored posts or maybe showing up with competitors or just kind of, people in UGC that's being published out there in the market. This will give you a view into all of the posts that Sprinkler can identify, leveraging the Johnny Walker branding and logo, whether or not Johnny Walker was mentioned in the text or the caption of the photo at all. So that's an introduction into the brand dashboard in this context. Now we're going to transition into an integrated dashboard that shows data from from all three actually, paid, owned, and earned components. So in this example, we're going to leverage the One View dashboard for Captain Morgan. And we're going to see a couple things here. So you'll certainly have access to the glossary showing you what all of the metrics are and what's available within this particular dashboard, with some descriptions here. In terms of any instructions and processes that are required, who you can reach out to for help, all of that will be included as well. So let's go ahead and have a look. So in this example, we've got a combination of both the owned and earned conversation all in one tab. So here we're going to view the metrics of all of our boosted posts as well as our standard organic posts. From a time frame perspective, this is looking at last year, 2019. Then as we go down, we can start to see things like the reach, the engagement rates, what that looked like from the previous period. We can have a view into the trends over time. And if we want to drill down the specific points of that conversation, we can do that as well. And then we can look at some of the fan growth and some additional metrics from the organic components. So here we're looking at different brand dimensions. We're looking at the volume of the conversations. So this is combining now, similar to before, the share of voice of the rum category, right alongside all of the owned metrics, and then some of our earned mentions as well for our brand. So here you're seeing a mixture of the owned and earned conversation to give you a feel for what the particular impact of any messaging or brand campaigns is having out in the marketplace. So here we've got this filtered in just to European countries from an earned perspective. And again, here we're looking at the key brand conversations, right? So we've applied this to Europe in this example. And we're looking at sentiment in different locations and cities and hashtags in place here. So this will give you a view into, again, the owned and the earned conversation, all within the same dashboard. We've also got access to the paid metrics as well. So any and all campaigns that have been executed, we'll be able to look through and reference all of the available metrics for each. In this example, it's divided up by geographies, but then again, all of the metrics that are referenced here in the glossary will be available to you for this particular brand in this integrated OneView dashboard as well. So that's just a quick introduction into both the brand and the integrated OneView dashboards. Again, for any additional questions you may have, please reference the Sprinkler Help Card. This will give you details on who to reach out to depending on the questions you might have, additional resources and support that you require, or if there's any issues you're encountering with the Sprinkler environment and the dashboards that you're using to run your business today. Thank you for your time.